Um, his prior firm settled the Jason Francia case, which was a multi-million-dollar settlement. I know Howard has been on television saying he was against that settlement. I don't believe it for a second. I had lunch with Randy Jackson, in San Francisco a number of months ago, and he told me that Johnny Cochran wanted to try the case, but that his belief was that Howard wanted to settle it. And if you read Randall Sullivan's chapter on the Jody Chandler incident, he says that reportedly Weitzman was the one who really wanted to settle it. So I wasn't there. I'm not a witness to this. But when Weitzman says I was against the settlement, I don't believe it for 5 minutes. Sullivan also reports that Branca, who was not representing Michael in the case, was not a litigator. He was his music lawyer, but Branca didn't think Michael could make it through a trial. And I suspect that's correct. But my point is that when Robson and then Safechuck filed these claims, and when they looked on the other side and saw Branca and Weitzman, they must have been celebrating because they knew these guys would never try the case. And I'm not representing the estate. I don't speak for the estate. I don't know what their strategy or tactics have been in this case. I've not been part of it. But Pearl Jr., who has been following the case and going to court and checking the files and talking to the court clerk, she showed up recently, as she reported to me, and said there's no case number and no file to examine. And I said to her, if that's the case, then they've settled. And if they've settled, in my opinion, and it's just speculation on my part, I think the estate has paid millions of dollars to Robson and Safechuck.
Really?
I really believe that. I'm not, again, a witness to any of this. I can't speak based upon experience or fact in this case because I haven't been in the case. But this plaintiff's lawyer, Gradstein, is an excellent lawyer. And by the way, he's also, as the last I checked, was representing Quincy Jones against the estate. And he's a very, very respected, experienced lawyer. And he aggressively went after the estate on behalf of Wade Robson and Safechuck. And I think he took some of his strategies from Larry Feldman's work in the early 90s, when Larry Feldman would periodically give a media interview and say something very, very disturbing about Michael Jackson. And in the end, Weitzman and company settled. And they settled, apparently, for an awful large sum of money, reportedly $20 million. That probably includes interest and a whole bunch of other things. But nevertheless, if you wanted to fight this case, the last people you wanted on the other side were the people you had, in my opinion, Branca and Weitzman, because of the history.
Right.
If you wanted to really send a message that you were going to fight this thing to the end, you needed other lawyers who were known to just take things to the limit. And that's not what you had. So when Pearl Jr. told me that you couldn't find the case number of the case file, I said to her, this suggests to me that money's been paid confidentially. They've either, dismissed the case quietly, under seal. Maybe they went to a private judge to try and just resolve it quietly. But this is exactly what I predicted would happen. I said these plaintiffs were never going to stop this case unless a judge threw it out. And if a judge hasn't formally thrown this case out in a way which is believable, I think that quietly the estate paid a large sum of money to make everything go.